Hi, everybody. Before we get to another great interview, the Two Opinionated podcast could really use your help. And it's easy, it's free. IMDb, which is the entertainment database, imdb.com, named us a top 100 podcast. We came in at number 82. That's a big deal because there's 15 million podcasts and growing. So to be named to anybody's top 100 list, pretty big deal for us. And the way you can help is to go to imdb.com, look up the Two Opinionated podcast, and that's it. Just bringing our page up. That traffic really helps us out. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. All we ask is that you subscribe. It's also free, but that really helps us to attract these amazing guests that we keep bringing on the program. And that's it. Two easy ways for you to support us, and we would really appreciate the help. Now let's get to that interview. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Two Opinionated. I am so excited today. I've got singer, fellow West Virginian, Landau Eugene Murphy Jr. So welcome, Landau.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you doing?
You know, that's like the most Hollywood name ever.
Oh man, you don't know how many days I've been teased about that name.
That's a great name. Like if you know you want a name that you can put up on a billboard and it looks good. That's a good name.
Yeah, I learned that once I got in the show business.
I could see where maybe that's a little bit of a long name, just going through everyday life. But once you get into show business, there you go.
Yeah, my school teachers, they never called me Landau. They all called me Eugene.
Well, so did you mind that, or were you like, it's Landau?
I wanted to. I always told them it was Landau, but they never would. They didn't know how to say it, I guess, because most people say Lando or Landu.
Yeah.
And I
I
was
was,
like, it's Landau. And
I
but
was
they
always a I don't know if you know Martin Landau, the
right.
actor.
Yeah.
That's how I knew how to pronounce it.
I remember Landau Calrissian. And I remember the Landau top on my dad's Lincoln.
That's right.
Royal carriage. That's what it means.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Well,
Yeah.
so let's start this way, Landau, because we've got a little bit to talk about. And you've went through this so many times, but you haven't done it here. So let's talk a little bit about that. What got you started in music? I know how it took off, but what got you started at the beginning? Your interest in music, your love for music.
Just my parents, my upbringing, just singing and dancing in the living room with my brothers and sisters to Marvin Gaye. Got to give it up. Keep on
See,
dancing.
that's my favorite Marvin Gaye song, and
Yeah.
that's such an underappreciated song.
Right. So we listening to that, and you was listening, to the Jacksons,
Mm-hmm.
Stevie Wonder.
Yep.
I mean, and as time goes on, you get into Cyndi Lauper, Bryan Adams.
Cyndi Lauper's out touring right now.
Right. But time after time was big. That was the Madonna before Madonna right
That's
there.
right. That's right.
And so it's like just your childhood, man. You pick it up. I mean, I was the dancer. Me and my sisters and brothers was like the dancers in the family at this
Yeah.
time. And so when my parents would come from the club or anything late nights and they had their friends with them, they would call us downstairs, like, come down here and show them how to moonwalk. Show them how to do that moonwalk. And we would come down and do dance routines in the living
Can you
room.
do the moonwalk still?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
I just moonwalked on the Grand Ole Opry stage.
That's a phrase that I will never utter.
I'm the first person to ever moonwalk on the Grand Ole Opry stage.
Well, next time you go, call me because that's the only way I'm going to have a shot at it.
Yeah, I went there, man. It was amazing to see the history in that place, and they still have that one piece of the original stage in the center. And so it's like once you walk out on stage, I didn't notice. I just did it just because I was happy to be there.
Yeah.
But I kneeled down and rubbed it. And no one ever even told me that people normally do that, but it was just I just felt like I was almost at the country Apollo. You know, in Apollo, you rub that log, that tree stump.
Yeah.
But when I saw that, I walked out, and the first thing that I thought to do was kneel down and rub that piece of wood. And then I got up, and everybody applauded, and then I went into my song. And then when I moonwalked, it was like, wow, that's the first time. Yeah, it was so cool.
Yeah, that's one of those bucket list items that I didn't even know that I wanted to check off.
Yeah, you got to see, especially to do the tour, because it has a lot of history. Like a lot of those rooms are. One room is the Dolly Parton room.
Yeah.
You know, they have a room with Kelsey Ballerini stuff in it. I mean, always Hank Williams, everybody, Willie Nelson, and like they gave me Dolly Parton's dressing room.
Oh, that's awesome.
Everything in there was Dolly Parton. Felt a little odd, but
I don't know. That would be kind of awesome though.
it was awesome. Yeah, it was really cool. I mean, just to see the history. Got pictures of her and all her celebrity friends all on the walls and things like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, Charlie Pride, they had everybody in them. So it's like you get to go through all of these rooms, and they're all numbered, like each one of them, with like a stamp on the floor before you walk into the room. It
That's
was
awesome. The only dressing room that I've ever been in for me was at the Clay Center, and they didn't have anything up on the walls. I was like, come on.
no, the Clay Center was kind of plain. They starting to decorate it now.
A little bit. Yeah, the hallway they got decorated.
Yeah, the hallways is pretty decorated, but yeah, they don't. I like going to venues where you can actually write your name on the wall.
Oh yeah, I love those. We went to Bogarts, I think, in Cincinnati, and you can see all the bands that have been through there and written their name on the wall. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I always write my name on the wall somewhere.
Yeah, I like that a lot. You mentioned growing up listening to Stevie Wonder. I went and saw him in concert in Columbus. It's been a few years back, but one of my favorite singers, but he had a stomach trouble, so he was like an hour and a half late coming out because he
Wow.
had stomach trouble, and I guess he felt bad that he was so late coming out. Well, he played like he was supposed to be out at 7. He didn't come out till about 8:30. He played. It was midnight, and I was like, "I love you, Stevie, but it's bedtime, man." And so,
No, once
yeah,
Stevie
so we
going, it
left.
doesn't stop.
He was doing Michael Jackson covers at midnight when we left. I don't know how late he actually played. Pretty
Yeah,
amazing.
he never stopped.
No,
I met Stevie Wonder on America's Got Talent.
yeah,
Right, he was one of the people on my list that I wanted to sing with. It was I think it was Aretha Franklin,
ooh,
Beyonce, Christina Aguilera,
oh, just the little ones.
Stevie Wonder, and Patti LaBelle. And I ended up with Patti LaBelle. Um,
That's not a bad one.
right, Pop Life ended up with Stevie Wonder. But I remember they were doing the show, and the people behind the scenes were like panicking because Stevie Wonder does not stop when he's supposed to stop.
I
And
know.
each second that they're still on television, that's like $20,000. If they lose 20,000. So the producer of the show, has got his headset on, and Stevie is still going. And Pop Life has already finished the song. If you go back and look at the clip, Kalani, which was the lead singer of this group, she just was done with her tambourine. She just banged it on her hip like and Stevie's coming, all right, everybody, wave your hand. And that guy was on the back. He's in the back. He's going. Every second that it was stayed on television, they was losing $20,000. And
That's
Stevie
hilarious.
Wonder, he at least cost them $100,000 just
And
from.
he knew it too. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah, he just kept going. He wouldn't stop. And everybody was just looking at him, and they was like, "Oh my God, he's not gonna stop!" He's just slamming their headphones. They're trying to go. They're telling him like, "Cut him, cut his mic now." And but he already had the audience. He had the audience live on television, like singing, with him. Um,
I mean, how are you going to stop that? You can't stop
you
that.
can't. And that's the problem that a lot of people have with Stevie. Once he gets going, he doesn't stop.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's the truth. I've seen it.
Yeah.
It's kind of his stamina, kind of amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just the love for the music. Once you get into it, it is hard to stop.
Yeah.
It's like I can start a show and once I get to like the last two or three songs, I'm like, man, I wish I had 15 more because I'm just not getting into it and the show's over. That's why I try to interact with the audience a lot just to make up that time because you can blow through those songs like this.
Right.
Most artists do. They just get on the stage and sing. They don't even talk to the audience. They just run through the songs. But I love to explain things and tell stories of my life on the road or my childhood during Christmas, things like that. And it makes the show go
Well,
long.
it makes it more of an experience instead of a show.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And so once you get to that last song and it's time to go sign autographs and take pictures and everything, you have that energy to do a whole nother show.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
the venue is like, oh, we got to close the place. We got to get everybody out of here. You know?
Say, I got stuff to talk about. Just hang on. My dad grew up in Logan. He was out. He grew up on Rum Creek there in Logan.
Where that is.
Yeah, and it's he's been wanting me to take him back up there just to see the changes from when he was little and growing up there. Because when he was growing up, there wasn't much there other than the houses and that stuff. But a lot of that stuff's gone now.
Yeah, if you go up Omar, you still see some of the old buildings that was there. But a lot of the history of it has been changed a lot.
Yeah.
Like most of those buildings was built in what 1925,
Oh
1929.
yeah. Yeah.
Some they're starting to fall in.
Yeah.
But
It's kind of. I mean, really, you could say that about a lot of towns in West Virginia, but it's kind of sad going through there now if you grew up here because when we were younger, those towns were thriving. It was kind of neat to see, but now it's kind of dying off, and that's kind of sad.
yeah, I'd like to just buy one town. Like I would buy Wyoming County. Like if I could buy the whole town or Hinton. Hinton especially because it has that river that runs through it, and it would be
Please buy Hinton. I would love that.
Hinton is so perfect and it's prime for something great, and I just don't understand why no billionaire or multimillionaire hasn't done it.
If you buy Hinton, then you have to make like a reality TV show
Yo,
because you
yeah.
have to make yourself the mayor to be your town. You'd have to be the mayor. So then we'll just follow you around in your day-to-day activities.
I mean, I love Hinton. I just went through Hinton, and it's amazing because it has that river that runs through it,
Yep.
and it still has brick stone streets.
I love the Brickstone.
Right, all the streets are still like that, and all those old houses are still there, and it's beautiful. And it has this river that runs through there, and like if you was to buy all of that and have like riverfront property, I mean, it's just amazing. It's prime and ready for something huge, and it's just like I just don't think the people like Elon Musk they're not even looking at it,
No,
But if I had
honestly,
that money, I would. That's one town that I would buy. I would buy the whole town and make it like it would be Beverly Hills in West Virginia.
I've said that somebody needs to do that with Jefferson here, next to
Yeah,
St. Albans, because
yeah,
you could take it's along the river. You could
yeah,
put in restaurants,
that,
like upscale type of
yeah.
restaurants. You could
That,
make a whole area there where it'd be like a destination place. Maybe you could put in like a Whole Foods or something in there.
yeah, Jefferson County would be great for it too. I've been through there. It's basically the same as Hinton.
Yeah. Oh,
And
there's places like that all over West Virginia.
yeah, I mean Wyoming County is probably dirt cheap right now.
I always tell people that if you're from West Virginia, you know somebody that grew up, or you're related to somebody that grew up in Logan County.
Oh yeah, or Boone County.
Or Boone County. Yeah. I
Yeah.
I dated a girl in college that was from Hen Lawson, and I went out to her house one time to meet her parents, and I was sitting on the couch, and something bit my ankle, like really took a chunk out of my ankle, and it was a groundhog. They they had a like, you know how people have dog doors? Well, they had
Yeah.
a groundhog door. And this thing, it would just come in and hide under the couch, I guess, but they didn't warn me. And it just you talk about somebody that was ready to run out.
Oh yeah, that's like seeing a big gopher rat.
Yeah, I wasn't happy about it, but her mother
You
was
sure
the
it wasn't a
best cook.
gopher rat?
Right? Her
What?
mother was the best cook, so I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm putting up with it.
That was a gopher rat, man. It beat you.
Oh my gosh, it took a chunk out of me.
It just popped up like, wow.
Made a meal out of me.
Yeah, I remember a poor family in the town that I lived in. They had holes in their floor, so like rats would like pop up out of it and look
Oh,
at.
that's awful.
And we sitting there watching TV, and you look over, and you like a set of eyes are staring at you.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's terrible.
Like I don't want to play anymore. I'm going home.
Yeah,
I'm going
yeah.
home.
I'm good.
I'm good. Y'all want some of this mac and cheese? No, I'm good.
Yeah, yeah. You don't want to eat that. Don't eat that.
Not eating no raisin bran or nothing there.
It may not be raisin bran. Don't eat that.
But like I've never seen raisins in potato salad.
Oh, this this is terrible.
Yeah, go poop.
So you put out a new album this year.
Yeah, titled "I Am Not Messing Around."
It was like, but this one's original songs, right?
Yep, original songs written by myself and Rob Hegel, Grammy Award winner songwriter for Air Supply.
Really
Yeah, he wrote like all the hits for Air Supply.
amazing.
So I was out in Vegas one day doing the Dennis Bono show, and he happened to be standing off stage and watching me off in the darkness. And then when I got off stage, he was like, "I come to this show all the time, and I've never seen anybody captivate and hold the audience the way that you do. Most people are just sitting there eating and looking up every now and then, but they actually stopped and watched." He was like, "Every time you get on the stage, I see that happen." He was like, "Do you have your own songs?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Well, here's my card. If you ever want to make an original album, I got your back."
Well, that's what I was going to ask you is why now was the right time and not 10 years ago.
Well, 10 years ago, I had all the contracts with Sony and Columbia Records. And they were just pushing cover albums.
Yeah.
All they wanted was, to me to keep doing cover albums. Because you got to realize every time I do a cover album, it just pays into the Sinatra estate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm putting his great grandkids and grandkids through
Right.
college.
I'm sure they appreciate it.
Exactly. I mean, they're living a great life, but I mean, and I appreciate, the 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 path that Sinatra carved out for people like myself, and along with Nat King Cole and all of us. Like, so it's good to do those cover songs and keep that history going, but at one point you got to be your own man and make your own mark. So it's just like after a while you start feeling like, okay, is this just karaoke? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm basically just singing other people's songs. Yeah, I make the money when I do the shows on the road, but I never make the money from the album when it's sold,
Right.
and it all goes to them. So now I have, my own thing, but I still have all those songs in my back pocket. So that's a plus. And now, I'm paving a way and making history for my own name and my own self.
I love that. Call Me a Joker was my favorite one on that
That's the one. That's one
album.
they wrote. That's my favorite song.
Yeah, that one. I mean, that's a very old school type of crooner song. I mean, it reminds me of Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra and all that.
Yeah, I wrote it in like the lines of My Way.
Yeah,
It's like you can think that I'm a joke because a lot of people around my neighborhood always just laughed when I sung Frank Sinatra. They thought it was Def Comedy Jam. They'd never seen the bigger picture of it.
right.
And then once I learned it and saw the bigger picture, I started taking it serious. But they were still joking. And I was just like, okay, it's gonna pop, it's gonna happen. They're like, man, don't nobody want to hear Frank Sinatra, man. You better do some Motown. You better do some Temptations. And that's just the most stereotypical thing that you could say to me. And I was like, but you got to realize in Hollywood they've seen everything,
Right.
so you got to have some type of wow factor. And my wow factor was the fact that I'm an African American male. I'm walking out on stage with dreadlocks, 6'4", and I'm singing Frank Sinatra.
I'll have to admit, you would not expect that.
You don't expect it. It was just something like it took everybody like, what? And then it was just like it kept going and kept going. And then the people who was laughing at it started to pay attention. And so it's like that song Joker basically reflects all of that I was going through. People told me not to sing Sinatra songs. I'm glad I didn't quit. Glad I didn't listen. I think I've proven that.
Yep.
I'll give my back a pat. And all of that. It's just like every bit of it was written from my heart. And Rob Hiegel put his touch on it. It was just amazing. Him and David Gudice.
Yeah. Well, it's a really good song. I mean, I love the title track too, and the other songs are great, but that one was my favorite.
There's another one that I wrote on there called Beyond the Star.
Yep, that's a good one.
And I wrote that off of the version of Fly Me to the Moon.
Really?
Yeah. It goes, let's fly to a moon way beyond the stars, a place of plenty and dreams of ours. It's so intriguing to think about a whole new living to figure out. On this ride, we'll enjoy the views, a brand new life for me and you. So thankful for eyes to see what could truly be. Let's fly to a moon beyond the stars. Yeah.
I wasn't going to stop you. Just keep on going. That's part of the reason I think that people love your music so much is because as soon as you start singing, it transports you. Like immediately, I'm just like I'm relaxed. I'm starting to think back through the years. I mean, it really does grab you.
That's what this genre does. I mean, it brings all people from all walks of life together, and there's nothing degrading in the real music. I don't have to gyrate my hips.
Right.
I don't have to take off any clothes. I don't have to cuss out nobody in the lyrics. I don't have to make my fellow man feel less of a man. I don't have to do any of those things. It's blue sky, puppy cloud music. And that's why I picked this genre. Of course, I could have did hip hop or R&B and soul and all that, but I don't want to do all that screaming and jumping around and dance. I just don't want to do it.
Only moonwalks.
Yeah, I'll moonwalk every now and then. Just give you a little tickle, just a little taste of it. But I knew, like when I went on television, I was like, I don't want to be a dancer because it's just too much. Got to change clothes every 3 or 4 songs. It's too much in your budget.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot that goes along with it. You got to have a choreographer. That's just more people on your payroll. It is. I mean, it's crazy how many people you have on your payroll.
Yeah.
By the time you get your part of it after you paid everybody out, you're like, dang, I did all of that for this. So I was just like, I started thinking before I even made that leap. I was like, I'm gonna keep my circle as small as possible.
Yeah.
And so I don't have a choreographer. I remember when I was on America's Got Talent, right after I got off, I had to do my residency at Caesar's Palace.
Yep.
And they put a whole security team around me as if I was like a wanted man. I was like, I mean, I would get off a stage and they would just grab me. This whole security. I felt like the president of the United States. They would grab me and these guys with the earpiece, come on, yeah, we have Mr. Murphy now. We're taking him to the green room. And I'm looking at them like, well, who are you?
See, you messed up there because you should have made them give you a cool nickname.
Yeah, I was just like, they was like, oh, sir, you're gonna need this security. It's crazy out there. I was like, you guys are making it crazy. I can walk through this crowd right now and nobody will even notice me. But if I walk through this crowd with Secret Service around me, that's when they're gonna look like, who was that? And then they're gonna go, oh, that's Landau right there. That's when they're gonna come. So I was just like, no. And then I was paying for it all. It wasn't like Sony was paying for it. I mean, the limos, you pay for that. The fancy restaurants, you pay for that. You think it's all given to you, but it's not. Like all of that stuff comes out of your budget or your
Well,
pay.
yeah, I'd tell them just pick me up in a normal car.
Right. I could have took a taxi cab. You didn't have to send this limo. I could have called my mama.
I mean, if there's a difference. If somebody says, I'm sending you a limo, great, send it. But if they
Right.
say, I'm sending you a limo and then I'll send you a bill, that's
Right.
a
And
little different.
that's what they don't tell you is that they're gonna send you the bill. They always say, oh yeah, the limo is gonna be out front to pick you up at such and such time. And you get in the limo and you're like, awesome. You got all the snacks, cakes, and drinks, and everything you want in there. Then you get out and you feel, very important. They take you into this nice restaurant. Everything is catered for you. And it's like, oh wow, I can't believe this is the life. But then like the end of the month, you get this bill and it's got everything on it that you've done. All the suits you wore, all the jewelry you put on, all the limo rides, everything is on your dime. And it's just like, well, what's the point? It's like you guys were living it up because you were in the limo with me. They're all in the limo with you. But you're the only one paying the bill. Nobody else pays the bill.
I never knew that. I just assumed it was the facilities or the record companies paying for that stuff.
No, I mean, think about this. When Mike Tyson was boxing, every time Don King wiped his face with a towel, he charged him $8,000.
No, he didn't. Really?
That's why Mike Tyson slapped Don King because that's how he took the money from him. That's how he was robbing him.
Yeah.
And you notice when Mike Tyson came out, it'd be a stack of towels there, and every time they reach over there and grab a towel and wipe his face and throw it in the bucket, it's $8,000.
Yeah, that's terrible.
But that's how they get you. They get you on little things like that. A bottle of water is going to cost you $50. You think it's just $1 bottle of water, but just because they went across the street to get that, they're going to charge you for the time that they walked out of the building, across the street, all the way back over there, and they hand you a bottle of water. Here, Mr. Murphy, we're sorry we didn't have this in the green room for you. And here, but you get the bill and it's $50. You know what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
had no idea. That's terrible.
That's how the record companies get you, but that's why I stayed away from the record companies. Once I got out of that Sony Columbia record card contract, I was like, I do all this on my own. And I put out, excuse me, this is my sixth album. And the only one that they put out for me was the very first, That's Life.
Yep.
That's the only album they put out. I put out all the rest of those albums myself, independent.
Well, my opinion is this newest one's your best one.
Yeah,
They're all good.
Oh my God. Excuse me. I love my Christmas album.
Yeah.
Even though it's all cover songs, I love that
That's
album.
a good album. Yeah, that's a very good album.
And now, my favorite one is this new original album because it's all original songs.
Well, we don't. I mean, you've got a few kind of crooners out there, but we don't have a lot of those. So you don't get a lot of new music in that genre.
I know because a lot of them get with these record companies, and record companies think they know everything, and they're like, "Oh no, we need to cross over. You need to go into the pop, maybe pop." Because there was Harry Connick Jr., there was Michael Bublé.
Yep.
All those guys were out, but then they took them in a whole another direction. And it's like you still want to hear all those crooner classics, but you don't get to hear them. You know,
No,
and just
that's exactly right.
and it's like even with the I can't remember that African American female. She's young, but she's really good. She's like a Billie Holiday, Ella Fitzgerald. And she cleaned up at the Grammys like last year.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah.
She's super good, and I hope they don't take that away from her. Like they're gonna try to, I guarantee they're gonna try to change her over to a pop genre or something, pop jazz. Or
How have you avoided country? Just being from West Virginia.
I don't know. I just never. Every time I go in the studio, I never record it. I've been offered a lot of country. I've been offered that, by songwriters. They always bring me a country song. Landau, this would be perfect for you, but I just never got to it. I've never done it. I've sung country songs before,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I just never got to that. I always stick with what's working. You know what
Well,
I'm saying?
there's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. So it's like staying in this genre. I mean, a lot of people try to get me to do. I did Birds of Paradise.
Oh,
I
yeah,
got
that's one
a
you wouldn't expect.
Birds of Paradise in the Carpenter. I think it was the Carpenter Ants. Are they called the Carpenter Ants or the Carpenter?
Carpenter Ants, yeah.
Yeah, we did Birds of Paradise, a little Jimmy Dickens song. So that's as close as I've been to it. And you can buy that, I think, on iTunes.
That's pretty great. That's pretty great. So you got a show coming up Friday night here in St. Albans, the mayor's Christmas concert. So tell me about that a little bit.
It's at the Albee Theater, December the 6th. We're gonna do I guess the parade and light the Christmas tree.
Yeah. Well, you got two shows now. I forgot
Yeah.
they did it a
And
second time.
the first show sold out so fast we had to add another one. And it's about to sell out. It's almost sold out now.
Yeah.
Second show is. So obviously everybody's ready for, these Christmas shows. And I have a special guest, Moore Ilderton. He's going to be on stage with me. He's a fellow West Virginian from like Bluefield, I believe,
Yeah.
but his roots are from Logan County. Remember the Ilderton family from Logan County? That's their grandson or nephew or something like that. But
You were kind of a pioneer for West Virginia, a resurgence of West Virginia music, because we've got a lot of good singers that are starting to get noticed now. Sierra Farrell's out there. You've got some of the local kids showing up on The Voice and stuff. I mean, it's pretty exciting.
yeah, I mean that's what you do. You got to show people the way. 'Cause a lot of people don't believe it, especially from these rural hollers and things like that. You just don't believe you're ever going to get out of there.
Yeah, that's right.
And then your parents really don't know any better to tell you that you can get out of there because they're just like, well, I've been here all my life. Where you think you going? You know what I'm saying? And like, see, even my mom's like, if you want to make it, you got to get out of Logan County. I was just like, no, I don't. I was like, I have the world in the palm of my hand with this cell phone. I got the whole world in the in my back pocket. And as soon as I pull it out, I'm in the whole world with a cell phone. iPhone, Samsung, any of that. You got the whole world in the palm of your hand. It's all about learning how to use it in positive ways and in ways to better your life. A lot of people just get on there and play games and stuff. No, I'll be on there researching anything. You can research just about anything, how to be financially stable, how to, become famous, how to start a podcast, how to do it. It's so many ways, and you never have to leave your living room. You
Yeah.
can order groceries on your couch. I told my mom that she still don't believe it. She doesn't believe it. I was like, Mom, you don't have to go to the grocery store no more. Oh boy, ain't nobody doing it. That's crazy. I don't believe in it. I was like, it's real. It's like you can Instacart everything straight. They will deliver it to your front doorstep. But she
Yeah, I
just,
know. It's that technology is a difficult concept for
yeah,
for our parents.
yeah. But
I mean, they think that I'm a technical expert and I'm just better than they are. That's it.
right. And then, the 7-year-old is better than us.
Oh my gosh. My grandkids, they already can do more on a phone than I can.
That's right.
It's crazy.
And now it's up to us to point them in the right direction while they're on the phone. Like I got this thing called a Beanstalk for my son. And it just basically shows him how to invest in stocks and real
Oh
estate.
yeah, my son does that. That helps me with
Yeah.
the podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, I got him in that. I have him in there's another one. Can't remember the name of it, but it's I think it's called Phenolo. And it helps you learn how to do stocks. He's got over like $5,000 in it already now.
That's amazing. That'll help him his entire life.
He's 7.
Yeah.
And he's already learning how to do stocks and things like that. And that's that's what we should do as parents if we want to break the mold and we want, uh wealth throughout your generations of your family. I mean, it's called generational wealth. That's what you want to accumulate. And it's just
Right.
like it starts with, the little kids because, we're already past our prime. So it's like I look at my son, I'm like, by the time you get 19, you should be ready for anything. You should be able to buy whatever you want. You should be able to go to any school you want to in the country and pay for it. It shouldn't be no problem. With technology today, it shouldn't be a problem for anybody to get anything. And it's just
No,
like,
that's true.
it's just about finding the right resources and getting the right information. So I show him about grants and loans and things like that. Grants, especially the grants that you don't have to pay back. You just got to teach them all those things. No one ever taught me this stuff. This
That's
stuff,
I know that's good parenting.
yeah, but this is stuff that I skipped school to learn. I used to find out that they were coming to like the Marriott Hotel or something, and I would skip school and pay to get into that room and sit in the back and take notes and just watch it, and then try some of the things, seeing what grants you can get. There's so many grants in this world that people can have
Yeah.
that they don't even know about because they don't tell you about it. And then when you do learn about it, there's so much red tape to go through to get through it that most people just give up. But as long as you're persistent and you keep going, you're gonna get it. They have to give it to you.
Right.
Otherwise, they're gonna push it in a big furnace and set it on fire.
That's right.
That's what
Nobody's
they
gonna get it then.
right. They take out it's a room bigger than this house that I'm in, and they push all of this money into a furnace and they burn it when you don't go collect it.
Yeah.
When we don't go collect that money for small business loans or anything, there's so many different grants and loans out there that a lot of kids today don't even know about. And people in my generation just don't believe that even exists, but they're there and they have to give it to you. You just have to apply for it.
That's right.
And if you don't know how to apply for it, then you'll never get it. And like I said, once it sits there long enough, they push it in that big furnace and set it on fire. It just goes up in smoke. It's
I mean,
like,
they could maybe just give it to people.
but they're not going to do that.
No.
They're not going to do
No,
that.
I've been waiting for it. Nothing's shown up.
Like you remember that saying your grandmother and your mom or anybody elder in your family used to always say, closed mouths don't get fed.
That's right.
You can't sit around like this and expect somebody to give you something. You got
Squeaky wheel gets the grease.
right. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. As soon as it starts,
Why is it important to you to positively represent West Virginia?
I mean, because we have so many different stereotypes all the time. And and then all due respect to the wonderful whites of West Virginia, I remember I used to party with those guys in Mount Gay Lounge, like right there in Mount Gay, right next to Kroger's, Tony Panzera's place. And they wasn't bad people. It's like, but Johnny Knoxville turned these people into something else.
That's right.
He turned them into something else that they really wasn't. Jessica White was actually a cool guy. He would come in and you'd buy him a beer and he would dance all night. Like,
Yeah.
he'd get on the table and stuff like that. Mamie, Sue Bob. I just gave Sue Bob a ride not even a year ago. I seen her sitting outside of McDonald's. And I was picking up McDonald's for my son. and I'm leaving at right at Fountain Place Mall in Logan County, and I look over and there's a motorcycle group of guys, like a motorcycle biker group, and they're all just over there, I guess, pumping air up in their tires or something, or resting. Then I hear something like, ah, and I was like, I'm looking around, I was like, that's gotta be Sue Bob.
It's a very recognizable voice.
Yeah, I could just recognize her voice. And so I pulled up and I rolled my window down. I was like, Sue Bob. She said, oh my God, Landau Eugene Murphy Jr. I love you, baby. Come over here and get me. She got up and she had like a bag of clothes where she said she had just got out of like rehab or something like that. And she's trying to write a book because she hated the way Johnny Knoxville and all them did them and portrayed them on television. She's trying to get her story out. And then she was like, well, I'm just got out. I mean, can you give me a ride real quick? I got to go to the Apple Blossom Festival in Chapmanville. I got to do my songs. And I was like, you sing songs? She's like, yeah, I wrote some songs. I'm going to go down there and I'm going to sing them, you know. Can you just give me a ride? So I gave her a ride to Chapmanville to the Apple Blossom Festival. I got out, I hugged her, and then she went on her way, man. Like, but I knew them, and it's like the stereotypes that they give, you know, people from West Virginia is just crazy. Even like, what was the other one called? What was it called, man?
Oh, yeah, the ones with the kids.
Yeah, the
Yeah. Well, I don't remember what that one's called, but it was kind of awful the way it portrayed.
Yeah, the way it portrays us all. And like when I go out, people always like, where are you from? I'm like, I'm from West Virginia. They're like, is that close to Roanoke? I'm like, no, man, we have our own state. That's Virginia you're talking about. Like,
Oh, I've done close to 900 of these interviews, and almost every time when I say I'm from West Virginia, at some point when they repeat it back to me, it's Virginia.
yeah,
The West is just gone.
yeah, the West is always gone. And like I was watching I think it was the girls or the boys basketball game the other day, and it was like Virginia's got to step it up right now. And I'm like, no, it's West Virginia. And I remember Rod Stewart came to the Greenbrier and he put on a fantastic show. So cool. He was barefooted the whole time. He was kicking soccer balls off into the audience. And me and the Davidson brothers had opened up for him. And like we're all sitting there and now we're fans. We're out in the audience. We're watching his whole show. And then right when he got to the end of the show, he's like, thank you so much, Virginia. And everybody's like, ah. Oh my God, you could have seen.
We take offense to it.
Oh my God, he got in his SUV right outside of the stage and took off. Everybody in there was mad because he did that. He's like, "Thank you, Virginia," with his Australian accent or whatever. And man, if he would have stood there, I think they'd have tore him apart.
I mean, admittedly, like LA has more people than we have in the whole state.
Yeah,
But we're still a state.
yes, you're still a state. One of the best states too. That's the hidden gem about West Virginia.
It's a great place to raise your kids. It's
Yeah,
difficult once they get to working age, but
right.
it's a great place to raise them.
But like I said before, when we was talking, like places like Hinton or Wyoming County, just think uh, if you had the money and you could bring in, say, some type of industry like a car industry. Like if you could bring in a Toyota factoring company where everybody could have jobs, and then the town would just start to sustain itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would be an amazing place like Hinton or Wyoming County or Jefferson County. Those places are prime and ready for somebody to come in and just do something great. And I hope that I'm able to make, you know, enough money to do something like that. That's why I never leave. Everybody's like, why don't you move to California? Why don't you? I was like, why? It's overcrowded and there's earthquakes. I don't want to be there. I don't want to be there. I mean, I love going, But I needed for 3 days. I go to Vegas for 3 days. I go to California for 3 days. New York, 3 days.
Then
And
come
I'm
home.
home. I don't need to be there no more longer than that. But I can stay in West Virginia forever. It's quiet. You don't see no helicopters, no
No.
police
Well, I've
check.
been here. Yeah, I've been here my whole life, and I love to travel, but I
Yeah.
love coming home too.
See, I was taken out of here in like 1984. My parents split
Yep.
up. So I had to adapt to a whole new lifestyle in Detroit, Michigan.
I mean, it's a big deal for like you're used to living in more of a country setting to then go to like inner city. It's a big difference.
Exactly. I mean, all the tough stuff I had to see. The toughest thing I seen before I left West Virginia was the Dukes of Hazzard. Cute, cute, cute.
Oh shoot! Hey, that was must see TV back in the day.
Exactly, but that was the toughest thing that we seen. And then when my mom and dad split up, they took me straight to Detroit. I mean, I remember Breaking was on television and Beat Street and
Oh yeah.
Crush Groove. I didn't know that stuff was like right then. Like as soon as I got there, I got challenged by a dance team. Because my auntie was bragging on me. My auntie lived up there. She was bragging on me to these street kids that they couldn't outdance me. So the first day in Detroit, these b-boys come down the street, with their boom box. They got wrapped up a whole dance floor up on this arm that was like a big piece of linoleum that they break danced on. And they walked up to me, set the boom box down, and they crossed their arms and looked at me like this. And I was like, okay, well, what's about to happen? So, and my auntie was like, no, they ain't trying to fight you, boy. They want to dance. I was like, oh, okay, well, let's dance. So I started doing my little, I'm doing all this, breaking it down, breaking it back up, breaking it, and they got the somersaulting and flipping and spinning on their necks, their backs, their ankles, their hands, their elbows. I was like, this is real life breakdance.
You know,
At the time, I only knew how to backspin. I didn't know how to windmill or any of that. But and all these kids was very athletic. I mean, a lot of them could have even went to the Olympics. They
yeah.
should have been in the Olympics. The Norris should have went to the Olympics. I mean, if breakdancing was in the Olympics back then, they would have won it. I mean, they were that good. They were better than anything that I had seen on, TV. They
You
were
know,
that good. And they could somersault and flip like Simone Biles. They would go do no hands and tucks and twists in the air and then come down into a backspin into a windmill and then pause. Like, I mean, I'm not even exaggerating. This was amazing.
that movie came out Breaking, and I was like 12,
Right.
and I was like, that's the best, that's the coolest thing I've
I
ever
was like
seen.
9. I was like 9, 10 years old.
Yeah, it was like the coolest thing. And so I started wearing parachute pants
Yeah,
everywhere.
turbo.
Yeah, but then I got like I couldn't dance at all. I couldn't dance at all. So I started getting nervous that somebody was going to come up to me and challenge me to a dance off. So
Oh,
anytime somebody start walking toward me, I go the other direction. I'm like, I don't want any part of that.
I got challenged all the time, and I had the parachute pants and everything, but I was actually good at dancing, and I was so good at dancing. Remember the skating ring in Logan County?
Oh yeah,
I used to
it's the
get
wooden one, wasn't it?
yeah, I would get in there for free because I would dance. They would let me in for free. Give
I
me
used to love going to the skating rink.
you in the camera.
Oh, you
Move.
got a little co-star there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Willow. Willow, say hi. Say hi, Willow. Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, it's a typical cat. That's not only part of that.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Landau, thank you for taking a little bit of time. I love doing this show, but I especially love it when I get fellow West Virginians because there's not enough of us out there doing stuff.
It's a lot of us. A lot of them ain't claiming it. I mean, like, just imagine if Steve Harvey really, really, really claimed West Virginia. I know he was moved out of here when he was like 6 and he moved to Cleveland or something, but he's still a West Virginian.
That's right.
He rarely talks about it. Only time he talks about it when they call him out, when he makes fun of coal miners or, stuff like that, or and then he'll clean up. No, I'm from West Virginia. Ain't nothing like a dirty man coming in from the coal mines. You know, that's when he starts to talk, but he doesn't really. He talks more about Cleveland.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like
He
me just
does.
always talking about Detroit. No, I grew up in Detroit, but I am from West Virginia. I am a true West Virginian. I was a Detroit plant.
That's right.
You know what I mean? I mean, think about it. Jennifer Gardner talks more about West Virginia than Steve Harvey does. She represents it more than he
He
does.
does.
And she's a plant. She's not even from here.
Yeah. But she grew up here. That
She's not
counts.
from here.
Well, hey, speaking of Jennifer Garner, because I have been chasing her for 5 years. So at some point, I know you're going to run into her. Just put a little word in. Tell her I'm chasing her.
Hey, I would love to run into her, man. That would be awesome.
It'll happen at some point. Just put a little plug in there, because it took me 5 years to get her people to respond to me, and they said no, but they at least responded. So I'm like, okay, you made contact. Now I'll keep trying. But I have this feeling if she finds out there's a West Virginia podcast that wants her on, she'll do it. But her people, they're paid to kind of prevent that from happening.
Yeah, because if it doesn't help them, they don't care.
That's right.
That's
right.
what Hollywood is about, man. And it's sad. That's why I had to get away from it. And a lot of people say, man, why'd you stay away from all that? I was like, because I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you if I didn't.
That's right.
Do you think they're gonna let me sit here and talk to you like a normal? No. They keep you away from reality.
Yeah,
So
they're a gatekeeper.
Yeah, they want to control you. And they got to keep their piggy bank going.
That's right. That's right.
You know? And then once it becomes like so reachable, then they feel like, oh, I can't market you anymore because you're so accessible to everybody. But I like being like that. I don't care. I still think I'm gonna always sell out shows. I'm still gonna always travel.
You will. People love that because it's genuine.
It's like everybody always tell you, you're too old to do this. No, you're not. You're never too old to do nothing until you're in the ground. That's when it's over.
That's right.
It's over when you hit the dirt. That's the only time it's over. I mean, look at Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman didn't start until he was, what, 39?
Yeah. Hey, I saw Wayne Newton, Rich Little in Vegas. I mean, they're up in their 80s and they're still doing it.
Exactly. And it's all about what you want. It's not about what everybody else thinks. I mean, you can get to one level and then you can say, okay, this is as far as I want to go. I don't need to go no farther than this.
Yeah.
And I mean, like when I was in Hollywood, I don't know. I just felt like I wasn't supposed to be there. I mean, because it seems like everything is so jaded. It's just it's this thing called a California yes. You know what I'm saying? It's like
California, yes.
yeah, look up this song. It's by Spencer Day, a buddy of mine named Spencer Day. It's called California Yes, and it describes Hollywood perfectly.
I'll look that up. I'm gonna write that down.
California Yes.
Yep.
Anybody watching this podcast, look up Spencer Day, a California Yes. And it describes Hollywood perfectly, how everything is. And when I heard that song, I was like, man, I went through all of this. Like everybody is somebody. Here's my card. I'm a producer. Here's my card. Call me tomorrow, maybe. No, yeah. You know, oh, it's always a California yes. It's a possibly no. You know what I mean? Most likely it's a no.
Yeah.
You know, somebody say, oh yeah, come by the studio tomorrow. And you go there and they're not even there. Studio don't even exist. You know what I'm saying? It's just everybody wants to be important. It's like everybody's pretending. And it's Hollywood. It's the place where people go to act. Yeah. So it's like everybody's acting. And it's like you can't find a real person till you go to places like Mills Valley or something like that where there are West Virginians located at. Like I went to this town called Mill Valley, California, and it was nothing but West Virginians there. And they were so happy to see me. They was like,
you found our people.
Yeah. They were so happy to see me. And I was just like, wow. He's like, yeah, our neighbors from Boone County, and they're from Bluefield, and we're from Dale Barton. What you been? He's like, we've been here for 27 years. You know, just came out here and made a life for ourselves and stay away from all that LA and Hollywood stuff, but these are your people right here. And I was just like, yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, so a couple little things, Landau, before I let you go. Anything else after this weekend's concert that you're working on that we can kind of keep an eye out for?
I'm trying to get ready to start writing a new book.
Yeah.
First one was so successful. And now I need to write from America's Got Talent, winning, and up till now. So I want to start working on that. And then I'm going to go and start on another original album with my music director, Lars Swanson. He's my bass player in my band, but I can see he's very hungry. And I like working with people like that that's ready to buckle down and do it. And I think he's a great fit. He loves jazz. He loves music. He's so deep in the history of music. I mean, from Miles Davis on to Sinatras and things like that. He's so deep into it, and I love to sit around and just pick his brain and combine my stuff with him and come up with another original album in the likeness of Frank Sinatra, Nat King Cole, Andy Williams.
That we'll look forward to that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be great, man. So that's basically what I'm working on, and right now I'm just passing out toys to less fortunate kids across the state of West Virginia as much as I possibly can throughout this holiday season. And today I actually drive to Tennessee and I do what show do I do today? Clark, Crossville, Tennessee. Yeah, I got to go to Crossville, Tennessee today. So then I come back and start that West Virginia thing.
Yeah. Well, I know you're hitting Clarksburg after St. Albans and maybe Huntington too.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I think Fayetteville too. Yeah, got a lot of stuff going on. And shout out to West Virginia Adult Education for sponsoring all the Christmas tour stuff, and it's a good partnership with them ever since I went back to school. And our slogan is "It's never too late to graduate." So anybody that feels like you're too old, don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype.
Never too late. Never too late to learn.
Never too late to graduate. Never too late to learn. You're right.
Good for you for not just completing your degree, but actually paying it forward a little bit. That's awesome.
That's what the blessing is about. I mean, when you're blessed, that's what you're supposed to do with it. I mean, you're actually paying it forward by bringing a fellow West Virginian on here to let me, speak my piece, and that's awesome, man. Just keep it up. Keep up the good work, and I'll send people to your channel.
Please do. I'd appreciate it. We got fellow West Virginians. We have to help each other out.
That's right. I mean, think about it. We've helped out all America. We powered New York.
That's right.
No lights without us.
That's right. It's our turn.
Yeah.
Oh, let me get this from you before I let you go. If you can give me just this is Landau. You're listening to Too Opinionated.
Hello, this is Landau, and you're listening to this. What is it called again?
All right, let's try again.
Opinionated?
It's Too Opinionated.
It's Too Opinionated.
Yeah, all right, try again.
Hello, this is Landau Eugene Murphy Jr. You're listening to It's Too Opinionated. Let's try it one more time.
It's not it's just Too Opinionated. You're listening to Too Opinionated.
You're listening to
Too Opinionated.
You're listening to Too Opinionated, right?
Yeah. That's right. Let's try it. Okay, try it again.
You got me saying tutu. I don't. You got me saying tutu in this conversation.
Too Opinionated.
This is Landau Eugene Murphy Jr. You're listening to Too Opinionated.
All right. Now I think I'm just going to play the whole clip. That's funnier.
Yeah. This is Landau Eugene Murphy Jr. signing off with Too Opinionated.
Perfect. All right, hold on one second. That was a bucket list one for me. Really enjoyed that. Hope you did as well. Landau's such a unique personality, but he's so positive. I love the fact that he's from here. I mean, we all remember watching him on America's Got Talent. I think that was season 6, and it's been, if you can believe it, 13 years ago. I mean, he did such a good job representing the state in a positive way, and just his whole story. I mean, talk about an underdog story. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. His book that he mentioned is From Washing Cars to Hollywood Stars. It is an excellent book, so make sure you check that out. The new album is I'm Not Messing Around. It's terrific. I've been listening to it all weekend. It is awesome. So definitely check that out. And the show is December 6th in St. Albans on Main Street at the Alban Arts Center. Hope I get to see you there. I know we're taking my mom and dad, so we'll be there. Should be a good show. If you're finding us for the first time, let me say this. If you're finding us for the first time and your name is Jennifer Garner, please contact us. We really want to have you on the show. Number 1 on our bucket list, Jennifer Garner. So Jennifer, if you're out there, let us know. Reach out. We'll get you on the show. If you're finding us for the first time and your name's not Jennifer Garner, a couple of easy ways that you can support us if you're so inclined. We'd love to have the help. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. Please subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. It's free, but those subscriptions really help us to continue to get these terrific guests that we have on here. Our website is meistercon.com. You can find all of our episodes, almost 900 of them, audio and video versions. If we're doing anything in studio, if we're going on location, if we're covering a convention, anything we have going on, if we're going down to see Landau at the Alban Theater, it'll be on the website, meistercon.com. So please check us out there. And finally, I'll mention IMDb, which is the entertainment database, imdb.com. Named us a top 100 podcast. I mean, there's like 15 million podcasts and growing daily. To be named to anybody's top 100 list, pretty special. If you go to imdb.com, look up the Two Opinionated podcast. That's free, but it helps us just having that traffic on the page. But also list all of the terrific guests. And I would put our guest list up against any other podcast, talk show, anything. I think we've been so blessed, but it'll list all of those there that you can take a look at. Thank you so much. Till next time. Bye, everybody.